Hey guys, welcome to The Drop. I'm Neha and today we'll be discussing Tarantino's latest film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. With me, I've got Hassan Khan. Thank you for joining us, Hassan.
Thank you, Neha.
So what did you think of the film?
I found the movie to be aesthetically appealing given how Tarantino portrayed Los Angeles in a nostalgic manner. It was kind of a tribute to Hollywood of the 1960s when there was a transition to a new period of the 1970s when we had sci-fi films such as Star Wars, The Godfather and Exorcist. Those were the films that were to be the highlights of the 70s. Because 1969 was the year we transitioned into that period. So we have three central characters such as Rick Dalton, Cliff Booth and Sharon Tate. Rick Dalton is a TV star whose career is fading in the 1960s. He used to do Western TV shows in the 50s. And then we have Cliff Booth, who's his stuntman and his best friend. He drives him around Los Angeles and he has his own personal life. He lives with his dog in a trailer.
Right.
And then we have Sharon Tate, who's living the life of an actor yearns for. She hosts parties, goes to parties, is married to a notable director like Roman Polanski.
Right.
So,
and Sharon Tate's based off of the real Sharon Tate.
Yeah, Margaret Robbie did a superb job, by the way.
Really? So now actually while we're talking about Sharon Tate, Tarantino has said that he wanted this Sharon Tate's character to be less of a Tarantino character and more authentic. What do you think about that?
I think he's spot on because Sharon Tate was the icon of the 1960s. She was the upcoming star. And in the film, we see that she goes to see her own film, The Wrecking Crew, in one of the theaters of Beverly Hills.
Right.
So when she goes there, she asks the ticket salesperson if she could have a free ticket for the show because she starred in the film.
Yeah.
So she goes inside after taking pictures with the manager, and then her only purpose of going to watch the film was to see how the audience reacts. And when she saw the audience applauding, that was her finest moment because she thought that she had established herself as a star now.
Now, Tarantino, this film actually has been criticized for the way it has portrayed its women. Like that it is controversial, that it's probably one-dimensional, that the female characters don't do much for the plot. Do you think that's true?
No, I disagree with that, given the fact that in the 1960s there was a hippie culture and hippies were portrayed exactly as they were in the film. They were being propped up by Charles Manson, who was a cult leader, who was more, fascinated by far-right tendencies, far-right movements of the era, the racist movement. So he wanted to go on a killing spree with his hippie band. I could term it more of a band actually because that's how it moved around Los Angeles. When we see Cliff Booth going to the Span Ranch, over there we see all the hippies gathered in an intimidating manner, and one of the characters tries to deflate his car's tire, and in response he punches him twice actually.
Really?
Yeah, it does. It's a funny moment actually because initially we saw those hippies getting intimidating, and then they got scared actually after seeing how he responded. So he also had a thing with one of the hippies, but that didn't work out too well.
Right. So what do you think about Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt's performance? Do you think, because they're such big names in Hollywood, what did you think of their performance?
I won't call it their finest performances, but in the film, they are a standing character, standing tall, given how powerful their roles have been in the past. So people have been demanding them to be together in a film for a long time, and this was their moment to be together. And I think they've done a pretty great job.
Right. Now, last question. You've said it before that the movie feels like a love letter to the 1960s golden Hollywood era.
Yeah.
And then, towards the ending, it goes pretty wild in a typical Tarantino manner.
That's actually a counterfactual ending. That's not a historical
I mean,
ending
they changed. It's not what really happened.
They softened it up, actually.
What do you think about that?
That was quite interesting. We see Tex Watson going along with the three hippie accomplices to go on a killing spree in one of the most exclusive neighborhoods of Hollywood. So when they reach the place, initially they thought of maybe killing Sharon Tate and her friends, but then when they see Rick Dalton coming outside and shouting at them because their car engine was making noises, he got irritated because he was under the influence of alcohol at the time, and he was an alcoholic already.
But in the movie, so they end up killing Leonardo DiCaprio's character.
No, they don't actually.
They don't.
So the ending was quite interesting. We see Tex Watson along with his hippie accomplices going on a potential killing spree, but things turn out quite ugly for them in the end. We see Cliff Booth going out on a walk with his dog with an acid-induced cigarette, so he was hallucinating in the end. He doesn't know what's happening around. He doesn't even know if those people were real or not.
Oh.
So when they come by to kill Rick, things turn ugly for them, and there's a fight scene. Not exactly a fight scene because it was a one-sided show because Brad actually manages to kill two of the characters.
Wow.
Who came to.
They really changed the events there.
And you know, Rick was in the swimming pool listening to radio on full volume. He doesn't know what's happening in the house. So when the third character got her face bitten by the dog, it was quite an ugly scene.
Wow, don't give us that many details. Some people will want to watch the movie.
So when she goes outside screaming around the house and she jumps into the swimming pool, Rick got perplexed, he got stunned, and then he goes into his shed, takes out the flamethrower from one of his movies and just burned her.
Wow, well, that's something of an ending.
And in the end, we don't get to see Sharon being killed.
Yeah, they did change that.
They just changed that, and Rick actually got invited to their house to have maybe to have socializing experience.
Oh, well, that's
so that was the
ending.
conclusion.
Whether it's happy or not, we'll let you decide that. That's all for today. We'll be back with a new episode of Drop very soon. Until next time.
We're really excited to share fantastic content with you
on all the fun topics.
Please subscribe to our channel by
clicking on the subscribe button below.